There are several Jewish organizations in the Silicon Valley that have been very influential to me. The first of which is Congregation Beth David, where I basically made my home since I moved up to the Bay Area in the late 90s. And the second of which is Yavna Day School, where our kids go to school.
Made a menorah, which I brought. Then I did a big menorah for Chabad on commission. And then from that, Jewish Family Services asked to borrow that very large menorah for fundraising. Then I was asked to join the Board of Directors of Jewish Family Services. That was the first Board of Directors that I served on.
Well, I have to say it probably involves my parents from a very early age. We are involved in the Jewish communities where I grew up, and they always volunteered in either things like sisterhood, or my mother was involved in Women's American Ort. My father was very big in the administration in the synagogues where we were. So I've grown up with that sort of volunteer mentality. I think I was probably about 5 years old in kindergarten, and I remember doing some kind of play during Hanukkah, where I think I was a candle, doing seders at home, or if I was visiting my grandparents, seders with them.
My earliest Jewish memory, I think, was at our synagogue. As a little kid running around at Oneg Shabbat with the other little kids, our Shabbat dinners at my grandparents' house, huge seders for Passover at my parents' house, and going to camp, Camp Swig, here in Silicon Valley. My grandfather was a rabbi. My father went to yeshiva, so throughout my life, Judaism has played a big role.
From the earliest stages, even up through college, I was a member of a synagogue in college, and learned how to read trope at that point. And wherever I've gone, I've always remembered a synagogue being in the background of my life. Well, I'm hoping that Beth David is going to continue to be a vibrant community. We're in the process of doing the Next 50 campaign at this point, trying to not just remodel the building, but also in remodeling the building, have room for all the different other groups that could be available, with interest groups.
My children go there, and the joy that they get from going to Yavna, learning the songs. Each day they come home and they're singing in the car tunes that I'm very surprised that they know. In 20 years there will be a next generation who want to have their kids get a very strong Jewish education. So I still see Yavna Day School as playing a significant role in Silicon Valley Judaism.
In the Silicon Valley, there's a diverse population, and I actually really enjoy living here because you get a very big mix of different cultures and religions that you can learn about. At the same time, that makes it a little bit more difficult, I think, to have our kids remain Jewish, because they're exposed to a lot of other things. The Jewish community in Silicon Valley is also now so widespread, and there's so many different things going on, from synagogues to Jewish day schools to federation. There's a lot of chance to be involved in that I don't think I ever really had the chance to be when I was growing up as a kid.
20 years from now, my kids will be in their late 20s. They'll have finished college, and their involvement in the Jewish community will really be getting started. Hopefully my kids, they'll be involved with Jewish social organizations, dating other Jewish kids, and hopefully being involved in their synagogue.
They are growing up with a lot of different opportunities to be Jewish now. I see them thriving in that, so I'm hoping that those experiences are good enough to keep that going when they're older and getting ready to start their own families.
Working with my congregation to create new interest groups, to invite people in to get more involved in our Jewish community.
Well, one of the things that I think is important that I'm committed to is legacy giving. You know, Jeff and I seem like a pretty, young couple. We have young kids to be thinking about this now. My experience is that I actually lost my first husband when I was in my late 20s. So it's never too early to think about that.
One of the reasons that I'm very supportive of the Legacy Giving Project and have committed to do legacy giving myself is that I am sure that there are specific causes my grandfather would have wanted to support if he had thought about putting specific organizations into his estate planning. He was very philanthropic throughout his lifetime. He helped establish the Hebrew Day School in San Francisco, the Hebrew Academy. And so now it's my opportunity to do that which my grandfather had not done.